There was fog at the beginning, fog and darkness, mixing and swirling, little else, no emotions to speak of. Though there were stars, they were invisible even to themselves, unknowing their own light. Stars always strive to be known, to peak and to burst. Fog into water before the stars glow, great lights, small lights. There was no planet then, nothing created to hold any works of creation. What mortals call hands would come all the later. Over and over this happened, this concert, this creating, in a million different ways. Slight variations, but nothing to be alarmed about. Every mortal is enamored with the idea of choice, the idea of free will. Books have been written about it, theses, religions have come and gone. These are mostly varying ideas about the universe, and the upright mammals who live within it, and who are reportedly charged with its upkeep and maintenance, though some other species and amoeba might disagree. There are wars, there are rulers, there are diplomats, and you must learn to know the difference. Buddhists, knowledge keepers, hot dog on a stick. When presented with the options, you will find that, historically speaking, choice and free will are the first things tossed to the side, discarded, left to weigh down the road. Often, even the rulers and those who begin wars do as such, those who fry things on sticks as well. They will be the first to discard choice, because they know they cannot ever truly be in charge, and the thought of real power is both so intoxicating and frightening that there is none who can truly wield it. No Charles, no Mr. Brady, no sad yet hilarious Irish Catholic New Englander commentary whose relevance sparks and fizzles within its time. This is simply a contradiction, listener, like so many of your charges face, that you will face while you are on one of many earths. Julie reflects on this, on all these ideas, from her place on the other side of the mirror. She didn't know the world she'd come into, from the cave, from a spell gone wrong. If you were following the programs as you should be, in order, none of this is a great surprise. Though not a requirement, it is good to know how to maneuver on Earth as lowly detected as possible. It is the only way to influence your charges to make good decisions, to eschew trouble. There are no spells in Julie's new world, no vampires. In fact, only the vaguest, flattest semblances of color do exist, and almost every citizen of this earth has made peace with such a thing, with an incessant bit of blurriness, like television in the 1960s, and again in the 2160s, but everywhere, as though the creator of this particular earth needed to adjust the rabbit ears on the world they were watching, and never quite did, with eyes that are not eyes, and hands that are not yet hands. Everything on this world feels light, clothing included. It is restrictive because it cannot and will not be heavy. Julie is restless. The imperfection of marshmallows upon her skin while she sleeps makes her yearn for an anchor, for tightness, for something to quell an anxiety and an unknowing which drowns her. She cannot see the stars. Please pause this audio diary and fill out certificate form 11374448. Please take the Scantron evaluation from the certificate folder and fill it out as instructed before continuing. While you wait, I will hum. Chuck Mangione. Have you done your work? Good. Let us continue. Julie still does not know when or where she is. There are a few immutable facts that she does know, however. One is that she won the race to become mayor of this surf city. This is the first fact. This first fact is why she is sitting up on her bed today, dressed in a vaguely powerful suit. She has tied a bit of a belt inside, close to her ribs, and it facsimiles a waist onto her frame. She has gained 5 pounds since stepping through to this world. This is a good thing. But this lack of security, this lack of being tied down, the lack of knowledge of the wise threatened to tear her asunder, ironically. There is a woman here who looks like Martha Margrave, but retains a youthful beauty. She claims to be 70, and yet there are no wrinkles nor gray hair. There is a flatness to her that is not just the color of the world, but also her soul, her face, in blankness. Sometimes the way that she looks at Julie feels she must not turn her back on this not Martha, let alone return the gaze. There is something wrong with Mary Margrave that is not her age, that is just her, that is simply her. Michael Charles Taffet is who Julie relies on more. Since she won the election, she can't remember. He has fashioned himself something of a public advocate and science advisor, an intermediary between her and the world of the town that she can only comprehend in bubbles that float on the side of her vision. They are people, of course, in this surf city. They breathe, and they show concern for themselves, and they live in houses. They go out in the daytime, and rarely sometimes at night. But she is not one of them, though she is afraid to say it aloud, afraid of what they might do to her. These citizens in this surf city do not move nor relocate. There is no one leaving town, nor entering. They are enjoined, magnetized. They are Surf City. Michael Charles Taffet has the visual nature and the positional standing of a young Robert Redford. In this universe, the actual Robert Redford never became a movie star as he died in 1935, working in an automobile garage and heavily muttering against Henry Ford. Listeners, this again is called irony. Julie does not trust Michael Charles Taffet nor Mary Margrave, and this is wisdom. It will preserve her. But she is also, in the duality of this moment, unable to end her dependence on them, and she worries at the edges of halting sleep that one day they may come through the door, either together or just one or the other, and create a new life in her which is post-mortem. She has visions of slashes of blood across the wall, severed fingers, the red of her blood clearer than the world of lackluster and blurry color around her. It will show that she is not of the town, but is there. She weeps for an escape that cannot be. There is a knock at the door to her dressing room, her bedroom, this place of niceties and frail fake flowers that couldn't be anything further from the person she thinks herself to be. The knock matches in cadence neatly to the sound of a bird outside her window. Mayor Pro Tem Cumberland. Mayor Pro Tem Cumberland. It is Michael Charles Taffet's voice. Julie can see his smile in her mind's eye. It is the only part of him not like a young Robert Redford. It is too wide when he smiles, truly smiles. There is something contained about Michael, an awareness of himself that he should not possess. She has been tempted these past days, these days leading up to her official inauguration, to ask him if he knows the truth. Listeners, much like the choice over free will, there is much that revolves on earth about the idea of truth. Each syllable and each letter are punctuated with an inflated sense of need. The truth is a fever pitch. It is hollow and yet holds the fragrance of a jasmine flower at the moment of bloom. It is harsh like the edge of a mistress at midnight and yet calls like a siren upon the rocks. Please pause this audio diary and fill out certificate form 8494631-2B. Please take the Scantron evaluation and fill it out as instructed before continuing. While you wait, I will hum. Philip Glass. Thank you. I do realize a 2-page Scantron-based essay fill-in-the-blank question on the word truth is a difficult concept. We of the cosmic know only truth. We do not remember its absence, but the mortals of earth see truth in fluctuation, in gradients of color. It is not a punishment to divine the meanings of truth, but a requirement of sanctuary. You must know when your charge does not know the truth, nor how to tell it. You must know when they run toward it and flee from it. You must know the truth in their laundry baskets, underneath their sink cupboards, in boxes of candies and trifles of cookies. You must see the truth and the flatness of a world without it. Only then may you help your charge achieve what is necessary. As far as Julie's truth, we do know it, of how she ran and yet she could not find a universe in which her and Surf City were not intertwined. So much more so in this universe. She stands on the balcony of the mayor's office, a feature not in her original universe. From this perch, as she listens to the sounds and shapes and speeches welcoming her into office, proclaiming a duty to public service that she cannot recall having a desirous bone within her body to perform, she notices the bend of the buildings, and what is absent. Some things are there still, familiar things, but there is no donut shop, no Dragon Wing pub. There are no vampires. There cannot be. A universe incapable of magic. Julie knows this because she has tried. Citizens of Surf City, she begins, mechanically. She rose to the podium mechanically when prompted, play-acting someone in charge, someone with desire and knowledge of the term mayor. Something the her of this universe perhaps even wanted. It is hard to say. They would not show her the life they claimed she had. No newspaper archives, no photos, no personal effects. But she soldiers on because of their eyes, the way they stare up at her from the ground expectantly. These eyes, too, are blank, like Michael's and Mary's. They are eyes devoid of light. The people of this world are not dead. They do eat and breathe and assumedly sleep. They check out books from the library and buy ice cream from Louis Swan's ice cream truck of 54 flavors, though the 54th flavor is dark chocolate rum raisin, so that last one is a bit of a cop-out because no one ever orders it. The people of this surf city are somehow not living dead. Julie hears herself drone on. She speaks about responsibility and social justice for the town. She speaks about fairness and equity, and the words are nice. They are pearly like the teeth of the townsfolk and how they smile, unnervingly short or far too wide. They don't sway or fidget while she talks. They just look upward, approvingly, perhaps expectantly. Julie Cumberland is fairly good at holding in screams. She isn't mad yet, but she fears oncoming madness. The longer she is here, she knows her eyes will change too. Something is wrong with these people, this place. But what it is, she hasn't a word or experience for. By design. She doesn't scream at any point in her speech, but she comes close. There is a brief pause between words when she sees them, for a glimpse. Just a brief one. They live in the pause of words. A grotesque green creature, covered in slime, rising upwards over the backs of the crowd on the far edges. The oldest generation, though that could be coincidence. The green slime creature with a cloak or some sort of wings drips something. But the thing it drips, indeed its very self, only seems to float. Nothing drops and stays. Nothing leaves a residue. Nothing of consequence. And then they are gone. But for the briefest moment, Julie and the creature exchange glances. And this creature knows everything. Surf City is an audio work of John MacDonald and John MacDonald Productions. It is meant for entertainment purposes only, and is not meant to advise anyone on lifestyle, health, or spiritual/philosophical issues of their or any time. All opinions expressed are held by the characters and in some cases the creator of Surf City and Surf City Donuts, John MacDonald. Season 2's cosmic narrator is Jack Wyckes.